In today's video, I'm going to show you how to create a rig 3D character using After Effects, Cinema 4D, and a paid After Effects plugin called Joysticks N Sliders. Let's begin. Alright, we're starting in Cinema 4D. I've already created a basic 3D model here. You'll notice I left out the eyes and mouth because I'll be creating those later in After Effects. Right now, this is just the body. Now that the model is ready, I'm going to export this as a GLTF file. So I'll go to File, then select Export and choose GLTF. Make sure the file format is set to GLTF. And click OK. I'll name my file and then I'll hit the Save button. That's it for this part. Now we have our 3D model exported and ready to bring into After Effects. Perfect! Now let's switch over to After Effects. I already have a camera and an environment light set up in my timeline. Next, I'm going to import my 3D character. Once that's done, I'll drag my 3D model into the timeline. I'll hit the Make Comp to Size button and click OK. It's looking a little small, so I'll go ahead and increase the size of the model. To keep this running smoothly, I'm going to switch to Draft 3D mode. Next, I'll start creating the eyes for my character. I'll create a new shape layer and draw the shape of an eye. Let's change the color to white. Right now, the eye looks flat, but I want to give it a 3D appearance. To do this, I'll go to Layer, then Layer Style, and select Inner Shadow. You'll see an Inner Shadow menu appear inside your layer. Go ahead and open its settings. I'll start by increasing the distance to 9. And the size to 14. Actually, on second thought, I'll reduce the distance to 2. This looks better. Now, I'll tweak the settings a bit more until I'm happy with the look. Let's increase the opacity to 100%. Perfect! This looks great. Now, I want to add a shadow to the eye. To do this, I'll go to Layer, then Layer Style, and select Drop Shadow. I'll adjust the angle of the shadow and set the size to 12. Okay, this looks good. Next, I'll change the anchor point to be in the center of the eye. Perfect! Now, I'll duplicate the shape layer and scale down the duplicate. For this new layer, I'll remove the drop shadow. Finally, I'll change its color to brown. This looks great. I'll name this layer Left Eyeball. and the bottom one, left eye. Perfect. Now I'll duplicate both layers and change their color to green. I'll position them on the right side of the face. This looks good. I'll rename these layers right eye and right eyeball. Great. Now that the eyes are ready, I'll pre-compose them. I'll name the new composition Eyes and click OK. Next, I'll turn the eye comp into a 3D layer. I'll adjust the Z-axis position to move the eyes in the front of the face of my 3D model. Then, I'll parent the eyes to the 3D model. Perfect. With this set up, I'll now use the Joystick and Slider tool to begin rigging my 3D character. In the Joysticks section, I'm now going to begin setting up poses for my 3D model. Since I want to create a joystick that controls my model's movements, I'll need to create 5 poses. Each pose will be keyframed. Let's start with the front pose. I'll add keyframes to all of the X, Y, and Z rotation values. It's important to keyframe all 3 values, even if you don't adjust them. Now, I'll move forward 1 frame in the timeline and rotate my model minus 30 degrees to the right. You can see that the eyes are moving along with the model. This is exactly what we want. Don't forget to keyframe the other 2 values, even though you didn't change them. Next, I'll move forward another frame. To reset the model back to its original position, go to the Joysticks window and click the Origin button. This will reset your 3D model to the first keyframe position you set. For the next pose, I'll rotate the model 30 degrees to the left and keyframe all 3 values again. Now let's create the looking up pose. I'll reset the model to the origin position and adjust the X rotation to minus 30 degrees. Again, add keyframes to the other 2 values. Finally, I'll move 1 frame forward and adjust the X rotation to 30 degrees. Perfect! You should now have 5 keyframe poses ready to go. Now, go ahead and select all of your keyframes and click the Create New Joystick button. Give it a name, then hit OK. You should see a blue box with a white No box in the center. You can select the blue box to move it out of the center and adjust its size as needed. Now, if you click and move to the white box in the center, you'll be able to control your model switching between the poses you assign. This is amazing. As you move the joystick, you'll notice that the eyes are following the model's movements as well. Now, I want to create the same controls for my eyes. So let's go ahead and enter the eyes comp layer. Inside the eyes comp, I'll create the 5 poses just like I did for the body. Start by using the joystick tool to pose your eyeballs. Begin with the front, then right, left, up, and finally down. Once your keyframes are set, select all of them and click the Create New Joystick button. Name it and click OK. You'll see the same blue box with the joysticks in the center. I'll scale it down and move it out of the way for now. Now we can see our eyeballs are being controlled by the joystick. Next, I want to move the joystick so it's with the other one we just created in the main comp. So I'll go back to the eyes comp. Select the eye rig layer, and in the joystick tool window, where it says Move Joystick to Parent Comp, I'll make sure the comp with my 3D model is selected. For me, it's this comp here, so I'll click the To Parent button. Now, our eye control is placed in the same comp as the body's joystick. I'll organize them a bit. Now, if I select the eye rig layer, I can move both my eyes and my body. This is looking great. Alright, let's move on to creating the mouth. While I can use shape layers in After Effects to create the mouth, I've already created them in Illustrator, so I am going to import that later. For now, I need to create a placeholder. First, I'll reset my 3D character's position. Then, create a new shape layer to represent the mouth. So I'll go to Layer and select New, then Shape Layer. I'll make the color white and create a circle shape. It doesn't matter much since this is just a placeholder for now. Next, I'll adjust the anchor point to the center and pre-compose this layer, naming it Mouth. I'll make it a 3D layer, position it in front of my character's face, and parent it to the body. Now, let's go inside the mouth composition and start creating our 5 poses. I'll zoom in a bit, then begin with the front pose, followed by the right, left, up, and finally down. Perfect. Now select all of the layers and create a new joystick. I'll name it Mouth Rig and hit OK. I'll move this joystick out of the way and test it. Everything works great. Now I'll add my actual mouth graphics to the rig. I'll import my Illustrator file, which contains the different mouth shapes, each organized into layers. Once imported, I'll drag all of the mouth layers into the timeline. Now I'll get the Joysticks N Slider tool ready and click the Create button under Switch Templates. This will allow us to switch out the placeholder with our actual mouth graphics. I'll give it a name and hit OK. It may seem like nothing has changed, but if you go back to your project window, you'll see the new composition we just created. I'll double click to open it, and you should see an empty composition. This is where we'll add our mouth layers again. Be sure not to change the names of these layers, or else the link will be broken, and it won't work. Now, in this composition, we can adjust the size and freely move the layers around. At this point, I'm going to organize my mouth illustration from down to up and left to right. Essentially, I'm mapping them to match the movements of the joystick. I'll scale them a bit to move them closer. It's fine if some of the mouths are cut off. This looks good enough for now. Now I'm going back to my mouth comp, and in the Joysticks and Slider tool, I'm going to click this button here. This is important because it links this comp to the switch template we just created. Once I click it, my mouth joystick should now change the type of mouth based on how I position the mouse. This looks great. I'll hide my shape layer and select the transparent box so I can see all of my mouths clearly. Everything is working perfectly. You can see that my mouth changes according to how I arrange the mouth inside the switch template comp. And I can always come back here to adjust the layouts if needed. Now I want to move my mouth controls to be with the other two joystick controls I created earlier. Let me go ahead and move these around and organize them. Perfect. I'll scale down my mouth layer and position it however I like. This looks good. Alright, let me test my mouth. Yep, this works perfectly. Now I can animate this character just by moving these 3 joysticks. I could also create controls for blinking eyes, but for now, this is enough. Let me uncheck the Draft 3D button to see how it looks with shadows. Oh wow, this looks amazing. I can easily animate this 3D character inside of After Effects. It's a little slow though, so I'll go back to the Draft 3D view for now. Let me do a quick animation test. I'll animate only the positions for these 3 joysticks. I'm just going to do something quick and see what I can come up with. I'll select these and duplicate them. Okay, let me preview this. Oh wow, within a few seconds I was able to animate these 3D characters. And there you have it. You now know how to create a 3D character inside of After Effects. Just to clarify, I'm not sponsored by the publisher of this plugin. I simply love the tool so much that I wanted to share what's possible with After Effects and a little creativity. This workflow will save you loads of render time, and I'm excited to see how you can use it on your own projects. If you found this video helpful, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching Tutos, your tutorial channels. Till the next one.